Alright, well, I'm back here with another installment using the Jeep kit. And we've been dodging raindrops. Just wrapped up my last video and it started raining. If you'll notice, I have changed my Jeep kit bag. This is a military, I think it's magazine pouch. You can put a first aid kit in it. I found on eBay cheap, at the risk of offending my wife. But she won't mind. She understands sometimes you need to go a little bit bigger. I'm also experimenting with some braided line. I found this nice fluorescent orange braided line at a sporting goods store closeout. At the time, it was 30% off of a sale price already, because the store is actually closing. I've used it a little bit. I have not given it a full try. I am not recommending it or even doing a video about it until I give it a good try. Like I say, I've just started using it. I'm using it like a leader, which I attach a small short piece of regular mono or fluorocarbon to. Which I have already rigged up a hook because I was hoping to save some time today. What did I do? There's my cap. It's in my pocket. Always losing caps. I rigged up a short leader line, or short tippet line, say 3 foot, give or take. And I'm using a loop-to-loop connection to put my tippet on. So far, just a bare hook on this, no weight at all. Like I said, the leader is experimental, but what we will be talking about and what I'm trying to show is the bait. See, I got asked, well, if you can't find any live bait and you haven't found a dough bait you like, what else would you use while traveling to catch fish? And there's a lot of things you could use. Like I said, I did a video just a little earlier today showing catching fish on flies that they keep in the same Jeep kit. Always crimp down your barb. This time, I'm going to use regular old Sara Lee bread. Now, if you'll notice, this has been ripped into. I get bread from the bread store for the ducks, just as a treat. They generally wander around and fish around. And I also feed some to my pond. Now, in my opinion, and I'm no expert at using bread, there are 2 ways to use bread. If you get a bun, like a hot dog bun, hamburger bun, heel piece of bread, you're simply going to take a piece of the heel piece. See how that's right like that? And what I like to do, a piece like that, is fold it over, run my hook through, bring it out, and run it back into it. Just a piece of bread on the hook. And at this point, using my 10-foot pole, and with that leader, I've got my line just a little bit longer than my pole. Let me set y'all up so we can fish with it. This is as simple as flipping it out. Now, I realize with this long leader, that's not going to be easy. But I flip it out and let it hit the surface. Now, one other thing I will do when I am doing something like this is I will throw pieces out try and get a little action going. Not enough to really make the fish hungry, or make the fish, give the fish something to eat, as much as to get them started. And you'll notice right over there, of course, as the bread becomes waterlogged, it does get soft. And now it's starting to sink, but it's still on that hook because that crust keeps it on the hook. Second method of fishing with bread. Have your piece of bread. Get rid of the crust here. You don't have to get rid of the crust, it's just, I'm showing that we have a piece of bread, just plain white bread. Now take a hunk of it and I'm going to roll it between my fingers, making a bread ball. I might get it a little wet. Keep in mind it's just rain. Making it into a doughy ball. Then you're going to take your hook and you're going to put it in the doughy ball like so. Now work the dough around the hook some, creating an effect, same thing you would as if you were using a dough ball or dough bait. This will sink. Also because it's more dense, because it is a dough ball versus, just fluffy bread. Casts better. Just using a simple overhand forward lob, nothing fancy. And if you look, I'm just doing the same thing I do when I'm fishing with a worm or other live bait. Just throwing it out there, letting it sink. Well, that was one that hit. You'll notice the dough ball is also not as soft as a little piece of bread, because if I wanted to hit that and that had just been a piece of bread, I would have never got that back. Oh, one hit it. Saw my line jump. That's why I'm going with this U-braided line, because I can see it on the water a little bit better. And I can tell what it's doing, like when I had that little jump right there. And this is proof you can catch fish on nothing but bread. Once again, just taking a piece of bread, need to get into a ball, tiny drop of water, putting it on my hook, making sure it's kneaded good and the hook's in there. By the way, if you're traveling and you're staying in a hotel that does a continental quote-unquote breakfast, usually they have some bread that you put in a toaster, bagels, something. Doesn't have to be loaf bread. Just grab you a slice or two. You don't even have to chill them like I did, especially if you find a spot that has fish in it. Sometimes I don't chum. I just come out here with a little piece of bread and do that. Normally, though, I grab worms from a worm farm. I just was asked about alternatives. This happens to be one. And since this is a Jeep kit, it is a traveling kit. Not saying that I travel and stay in hotels a lot, but when we were taking our girl, when we were doing things like going up to college for orientation and stuff, we would be up there, and maybe I'd want to take tackle with me, but it, in case. But I didn't have any worms, didn't have any bait shops, didn't know the whole area. This would have been great at that point in time. I was traveling, didn't know that I would use any gear, didn't know I would fish. At the time, I took a fly rod with me, which fit in the vehicle. and I had flies, and I did a little bit of fishing, but not a lot. This is just nice to have with you, this kit right here. All right, I'm gonna call it quits. I'd like to thank all my subscribers. I got a host of new ones thanks to the Big Mike's Fixed Line Challenge. There's still some time left in May to do that. I will put a link in the description of this video to his contest video. So y'all might want to take a peek at that. There's already some very good entries. This of course is not my entry. I've put my entry in, and it shall stand as what it is. I just wanted to give a shout out to him for helping me out with the subscribers. Thank y'all for watching. Kind of amazes me y'all want to see what I do, and really amazes me that I'm getting questions on things. I'm no expert. Fished all my life, but and I've fished with cane poles and whatnot, but I've never done this, and I'm learning probably just as much as y'all are as I go. All right, rain's getting harder. I'm gonna throw out some bread for the ducks and fish, and we're gonna call it a day.